Okay, so here I'm gonna change the warrior sprint to anything, and now I'm gonna run this, and I have two videos simultaneously showing the increase in run speed. Okay, so that was the test with the sprint test, and it seems like most of the other classes, abilities or swiftness buffs, it gives exactly 10% movement speed. 10% is actually a lot, and as a warrior melee class you definitely wanna have this trait. Because first of all, it's important to move quickly between different nodes, and also if you're up against some enemies and they have sprint or swiftness, then you really need those extra movement speed to stick on them and also keep up with them. And there are some other things that I wanted to test. One of them is the internal cooldown of balance stance and endure pain. You know the traits last stand and shrug it off. Basically I just want to know what the internal cooldown is and how they work together with the utility skills. So first I'm testing the balance stance. Actually taking sure-footed off for this, and I'm going to the dodge roll trainer so it activates. Okay, I started my stopwatch now. Okay, so now 90 seconds passed and it activates again, so the internal cooldown is exactly 90 seconds. I think it's just fine. It's not that good of course, because it's pretty long, but I think less cooldown on it would make it even more overpowered. I think 90 seconds are fine. Okay, so another thing I wanted to test with balance stance is if I'm triggering the internal cooldown on my trait, on my trait last stand, if I'm using balance stance first. So for example I use balance stance and then I get CC'd again. Does the trait then still activate, or did this balance stance trigger an internal cooldown? So let's test this. I'm activating it. It's going to last 8 seconds now. And then when it's over, I should get the trait. Started my stopwatch. But it's not going off. Where's my balance stance? So this basically means that just because I used my ability balance stance, the trait isn't going off. It's somehow on an internal cooldown. Again, I'm gonna test how long the internal cooldown is before I can, before the trait activates. Okay, and the cooldown was 80 seconds, which means I started to count after the end of balance stance, so the cooldown is 90 seconds after the activation of balance stance. So what does this mean? This means that if you, for example, are playing and you rush into a fight and use balance stance first, before the balance stance of the trait gets activated, you are like making the trait useless, because it won't go off for 90 seconds every time you use balance stance. So the trait and the utility skill together only function if you let the trait activate first and then use your balance stance afterwards. It's really important to know, and you really need to be careful with using balance stance. So I see many warriors that like charge in and then use balance stance right away. That's not the best way to use it. It's better to let the trait activate first if you have spec'd into it, and then use your balance dance after. That's the way you can get 16 seconds or even more if you have the trait CC immunity.